As y'all know, we play the Bills on Monday night, so I want to go through their film and I want to talk about things that I saw during the week that I'm like, hey, we could do this or we could take advantage of that. And there's a big misconception going around the fan base as of right now. They're like, not everybody, but a couple people are thinking, hey man, this is still the Bills team from 2 or 3 years ago where they're just a very good defense and an unstoppable offense. Not necessarily true. The offense, yes, it's in a way still unstoppable, but that defense is a very movable force, or whatever you want to call it. What is it? Unstoppable force, movable object? Yeah, it's a movable object, right? We can get yards on them. But if you've never tuned into any of my videos, I always do about offense and then defense. So we're gonna go over what the Bills offense does and how we can take advantage of it, and then we're gonna talk about their defense. So let's go and get into the video. The first person I want to talk about in this video is obviously number 17, their quarterback. And one thing I do notice is that when they hold the ball longer, they tend to do bad things. Well, I wouldn't say all quarterbacks, but I say the quarterbacks with the haywire gene, where it's like they try to go into hero mode. So you got Baker Mayfield, sometimes Lamar Jackson, and especially Josh Allen. So let's break down what's happening here. So offensively, what we're going to get this through route by the number 3 receiver. Then we're going to get this in cut by the number 2, okay? It's kind of like, it's basically dagger. Then you're going to get this mandatory outside release by number 1. And then on the single receiver side with, the cut splits, you're going to get pretty much just a shallow sit. So if nobody's matching, he's going to sit. If somebody's matching, he's going to keep going. And then he's going to come up here and then check, okay? Now defensively, what the Patriots are doing, they're doing a version of quarters. I think it's called stubby, where you're going to man up this guy right here. And then you're going to play pretty much a triangle over number 2 and number 3, okay? This weak side safety is going to poach. That means if 3 comes across, he's going to buy that back. Anything coming across, basically, okay? And then you're going to get another man on or med call right here, which means man everywhere he goes, okay? So essentially, say, for example, we get number 3 going out, and we're going to get this guy going on a post, all right? The apex is going to take this out route. And then this route is going to be pretty much running into the safety, okay? Because once number 3 goes out, he's going to get his outside 2. He's going to get up there. He's going to deliver that route to the safety, okay? That's basically what's going on. So what goes wrong right here for Josh Allen is, once again, he holds this ball, but he gets fooled by the coverage, okay? So he's going to get this ball. He's going to be looking right down the middle of the field, okay? You could tell by the end zone angle when you see his stripes, he's looking right down the field because he wants to hit this through route because he saw initially it was a too high shell. So we all know when it's a too high shell, anything that beats it is something coming across the middle of the field. I don't know why it's an eraser right there. Okay, there. Anything, splitting the safeties is, gonna beat this because it is a too high coverage, okay? And he's trying to hit this through route. Okay, so we're gonna see this develop. He wants to throw it, see? He wants to make that throw, but he sees the safeties right here. And so then he tries to reset and he's gonna try to hit this in cut right here. But by the time that happens, 2 guys are already over top and underneath it, so there was just no way to make a play right here for Josh Allen, okay? But the main thing I want y'all to take from this is, if we can fool him with the coverages and give him to hold this ball, things like this will happen where you're going to force these errant throws and sometimes turnovers. But he's cut out on the turnovers, but, this is one rare instance where you're able to get him and get the ball back. Okay, so we have the next instance of this, so I just want to show y'all what happens here. He's going to nearly throw another interception, okay? Y'all see that? Boom, right? So let's kind of break down what's happening here. So the main route we're looking at is going to be this over route, okay? We're going to have this over route by number 5, and we're going to have somebody sit over the ball, which I think is the tight end, okay? He's pretty much trying to hollow this linebacker right here, basically, off of this play action. We're obviously going to get the clear out right here, so it's going to be a post cross or a Yankee concept. And then defensively, we're getting quarter half. So we already know we're going to have our half right here. We're going to have a quarter by Kyle Hamilton, another quarter right here by the other corner, Nate Wiggins, okay? Since we have the cover 2 side to the field, we're going to call this cover 9, okay? So it will actually be half quarter. So we already know that in this type of coverage, this guy right here, he's going to be robbing any crossing routes, okay? And you're going to see what I'm talking about once again, where we're going to look at this play through. He's going to just, stay tight to the post. But look, once he sees a crossing route, he's going to nail down on it, okay? And if you look at Josh Allen again, you see he's holding this ball. He wants to throw this. I don't know why he doesn't take the, you don't go for taking the profit. You want to take that, okay? It's first down. You could just get the easy yards right there. But I'm thinking he was trying to go for the big play because he pump fakes it. And then he tries to, reset and throw it. And, one thing to pay attention to is he passed his ball right there. And it gave Kyle Hamilton enough time to get back into the play, because what if he just pump faked it and then easily resets and throws it, okay? Now you're talking about an explosive play, but he passed the ball too long. and boom, it's a PBU. So we gotta let him hold the ball, whether it's on his own or whether we force him to. We gotta let him hold the ball because good things will happen for us. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is pass protection, because their offensive line is really solid, throughout all five, except for one guy, which is number 64. He is the weak link of this offensive line, and we could take advantage of him. So look, let's look at this front. We're going to have a 0. We're going to have a guy pretty much playing 4-eye with another 9, another basically like a quasi 4-eye, and another 9 right here, okay? Now, pass protection wise, you have 5 threats and you have 5 guys and you're in empty. So they have no choice but to 5-0 this, which means everybody's going to get their man that's in front of them, and they're pretty much going to play it inside out. So say, for example, if he were to blitz on the inside and he takes the B gap, he's going to go inside, he's going to squeeze down, and then he becomes the hot guy. Okay, it's really nuanced, but like you really want to, account for all 5 guys since you're in empty and you have your 5 most dangerous right here. You got to account for all of these. So if any guy blitzes, you have to be hot either right here or any receiver right here that's coming into the picture. Okay, those guys are hot. And so the reason why I picked this out is because this is an outside linebacker, Carl Granderson from the Saints. Okay, we do some things where we put Jalen Walker right here. We probably put like Arnold Ebiketie, Leonard Floyd, James Pierce Jr. We put a guy right here, and we can force that one-on-one with him and a weak link on the offensive line. You're gonna see right here. It was pretty much just a quick win right there. Boom, and he gets a hit on Josh Allen. He can't get out of that, okay? But one thing, I do want to take from this is if we can force that one-on-one with him, we can win. We definitely can win. I think the left tackle or the right tackle, you can get him a little bit too, because he gets walked back by old man Jordan. So we'll have to see, but I do think Jeff Ulbrich will be trying to scheme this guy up when we get into that game. Be on the lookout for it. All right, so I want to bring up this one too, because this is like a version of a low mug front where you're going to have the linebacker mugging the front right here. You're going to have a defensive lineman, the other 3 defensive linemen on the other side, okay? And they're going to be running a stunt. So you're going to have this guy penetrate this opposite A gap. He's going to go inside. He's going to loop all the way around. And you're going to have these guys just straight up, pass rush, okay? You're trying to get this, the pressure in his face, okay? And I want y'all to pay attention to these 2 guys right here, because these guys allow the pressure, not pressure to get home, but they force a step up, okay? And if anytime you can force his eyes down and get off of, the routes, that's good, because then he gets into run mode, hero mode, whatever you want to call it, and he tries to make a play. So look at this. Check this out. You're going to see this stunt develop, okay? Look at 64. He's going to get upfield, and he's going to win, okay? He gets that arm up under him, and he's gone, okay? Brian Brzee, he's going to somewhat win this. He's going to just force that center back. Could have got called for a holding right here, but we're not gonna talk about that. But still, the stunt works. I'm not saying they're bad at picking up stunts. They're a little bit better than league average about picking up stunts and blitzes and all that. But as you can see, when you force that step up, you see his eyes came down a little bit. Okay, I moved this out the way a little bit, but look, his eyes came down. Now he's trying to go make a play, and you see, easy sack right there. So we got to force his eyes down. We got to make him hold the ball. All of that. Okay, cool. It's not like, Caleb Williams where, we don't want him to hold the ball. We want to get the ball out so we can rally and tackle. It's like, Josh Allen, hold that ball because we can come get you and we can force you into a mistake. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the Bills defense, more particularly for right now, their run defense, because it's one of the worst in the league, okay? Now, they had a hard time containing, Derrick Henry. So we have the best player in the league, arguably, and I want to see how they do this. So look, they are like very weak at defending the right side runs, okay? They allow about 5 yards to carry. Conversely to the left side where it's about 4.2 yards to carry. And this play perfectly encapsulates, just how bad it is, okay? So we're going to get a toss, right? And so the blocking is going to go like this. He's going to pretty much wash this defensive end down, okay? He's going to get on him. You're going to have this guy kind of like double him and then get to the second level. He's going to immediately climb to the second level. He's going to cut him off, okay? And these guys are going to flow extremely hard. And the reason why outside zone or these toss sweeps are so prominent is because you get these guys flowing and it creates these natural cutback lanes. So when we watch this play out, you're going to see there's going to motion out Zay Flowers to get a better angle for this corner, okay? You're going to see they're going to do this toss sweep, and boom, you see, look at this. These guys, they handle the initial penetration perfectly, okay? He gets washed down. It's going to create some chaos for the other guy, so he really can't do anything. He's going to pick up this first guy right here, boom, creates this lane right here. Right now, look at this. Look at the backside guards and tackles. Okay, he cuts him off perfectly. Okay, we have these 2 guys pretty much roaming untouched to the second level, And this is Matt Milano, who won't be playing, by the way. But you see he's over pursuing this way, and you see it's supposed to keep going this way, but this cutback lane is going to develop right down the hash. Like, if a run hits right down the hash, it's considered perfect, okay? So we're going to watch this. Derrick Henry's going to press this a little bit more. Then, boom, he's going to, ooh, that cut was beautiful. Oh, my God. But look, it's going to create this lane, and you're going to see it's a one-on-one with the safety. All coordinators love this. They're running back on a safety, bro. I love it. Coordinators love it because guess what? Our running back can win that, okay? And you see he's going to shrug off that arm tackle and go score. But the whole thing I want y'all to pay attention to is, once again, let's look at the linebackers and how they flow, okay? You're going to see this guy. He's going to go right downhill. He's going to meet the lead blocker. He gets sealed. Oh, my God. The Sam backer, he's going to blitz, going to get taken out. The Mike backer, look at him. He's going to get sealed off by number 70. And then the Will, Matt Milano, he's pretty much going to get sealed off by two guys off the cutback. So, like, if we can just execute like this in our run offense, these guys have no chance of beating us. Like, I swear to God, they don't. Now, one thing I do expect them to, like, start out doing is run blitzing, because they've started to, do the uptick in run blitzes to compensate for the bad run defense. So they're going to be doing a run to the left. It's another outside hit and run, but you're going to see there's going to be a big void created between, the A and the B gap, or between this guard and tackle. It's going to be a big void right here. Okay. So we're going to watch this. What they're going to do is, since it's a 2 tight end set, but he's on the ball right here, they're going to walk down their Sam backer. That's a normal thing to do with most defenses where, this is still a 4 down front right here, but we want to walk down this Sam. The safety's going to be over top, and they're going to have your Mike and your Will, playing a traditional stack position, okay? High school teams do this, some college teams do it. I really haven't seen it in the NFL until now, but I guess they're in a 22 personnel set. They want to walk him down and help that out. So look at this. Check this out. We're going to get another stretch run right here. You see the front side is contained perfectly, but look at what I'm talking about. Where this center and guard was, there's that void, okay? And you see the center does a great job of picking up this run blitz right here. You see he gets his eyes on him, seals him out perfectly. And once again, what do y'all have? You have an alley, and you have Taylor Rapp again. And guess what? Who's going to win that foot race? Who's going to win that one-on-one? It's always going to be Derrick Henry, especially when he has to build up his steam. Like, you're not going to catch him. You're not going to catch him. So, like, if we can displace these guys, because also look at the Mike and the Will right here. Okay, we're going to look at this. Once again, the Mike is going to blitz. We already know that. But look at this. We're going to get an immediate climb. Look at this pass off right here, right? If we can get the guard, we can get Chris Lindstrom and Elijah Wilkinson on the same page right here at, cutting off this backside defensive tackle. Look, cut him off perfectly. Now he's sealing out this weak side backer, and he can't do nothing about it. This is perfect execution by the Ravens offensive line. Like, beautiful. Now, one thing I will say is that if we're going to keep Drake London in the slot, even though, Mooney's hurt, because I do think with him being out, that moves him back out to X, or they're going to run more packages where Drake is at the X. I'm very against it because I think Ray can be a good X. I think Casey can be a good X too. But look, I think it might be one of those games where one of our auxiliary guys are going to go off in a pass game, because look, this is Zay Flowers, right? He's going to be running a crossing route, okay? We're also going to get man-to-man on the back end, right? We're going to get another Yankee concept right here with a post and a cross. And the reason why I say that is because I wouldn't say Drake London is a bad man-to-man beater, but on these deep over routes, I think we're going to need some more speed to, like, actually run away, because this is a runaway route where you're going to run away from your defender. And kind of spoiled it right here, but we're in man-to-man cover. So this guy's mano-a-mano, this guy's mano-a-mano. We have a post safety right here, okay? We're pretty much reading off of him. Whichever guy he helps, we're going to throw the opposite of him, basically, okay? And so the reason why I said, one of the auxiliary guys can, take advantage and go off is because, look at this. Their corners, there's something to sneeze at. The saying, there's nothing to sneeze at. We can sneeze at these corners and we'll be fine. I respect Christian Benford a little bit more than the other guys, but, like, this is just bad, okay? He gets, like, I'm not sure what this release, or I'm not sure what he was doing on this release, but, like, you let him get all the way past you, Chris. And Lamar has a good time. He steps up into the pocket and delivers a good pass. Like, if we can get Ray doing this on these deep over routes, if we can get Kyle Pitts doing it on the safety, oh my God. But, like, this can be one of those games where if we work these deep crosses and these intermediate routes, because they are one of the worst teams at defending these intermediate passing concepts, we will be fine. Like, this is going to be a very good game for the offense all over. I just worry about what we do defensively. Okay, that's it. Well, I wouldn't say that. I worry about Josh Allen rather. That's what I worry about, because he's the great equalizer in this game right now. He's going to be the best player on the field. All right, and this is the last one I want to look at. This is kind of a different lens I want to take, where, you know, coordinators see things on film and they game plan Anyways, they see things on the film and they game plan accordingly. So we're going to see what this play is. This is going to be just a normal, you know, naked bootleg where you're going to get Chris Olave on this intermediate crossing route where he's just going to clear out space right here. Okay, you're going to get this guy. He's going to take outside release and then just go down the field like that. This tight end is going to block and then release into the flat. You're going to still get this run action this way. He's going to reach and then go on this bootleg. Okay, cool. This is what we're getting. And then defensively, we're going to be getting cover 3 cross. So we already know we're going to have our 3 deep. But what's going to happen is to, you know, fix, you know, beating these crossing routes kill cover 3, right? We're going to have him jump this crossing route. He's going to just fall off. He's going to have to fall off anyways because this guy's just going down the field anyways, right? We're still going to have this guy play from outside leverage on this mandatory outside release. But the whole thing is to stop these crossing routes, you would have the middle field safety or post safety rob these crossing routes, okay? And I want to show y'all, you know, how this opens up the middle of the field, right? So look at this. Before the crossing route even gets to the opposite numbers, he's already triggering on it, right? And boom, you see, you know, nice catch for a first down, right? But once again, we get to the, you know, whole thing of game planning. So I don't think we would, you know, I think we could do something like this. I'm speculating we could. If Zach Robinson is competent, he would. Okay, he would. So look, you're gonna get a run fake this way, boom. Instead of doing a bootleg, we're gonna have Mike not, you know, roll out. He's gonna just set up to throw right here, hitch up and throw. We're going to have Rashid Shaheed do this widen, this spray release. He's gonna widen, which means he's gonna spray release basically. He's gonna widen. He's gonna nod to the corner, back to the post. Okay, you're still gonna have your crossing route right here, right? And then instead of this guy running just up the field, you want him to run some kind of outbreaking route. So let's say like a corner route to really hold this corner. Okay, because remember, this is middle field close. You want to get him out of the picture as much as you can, because we know, look, he's going to rob this crossing route. He's still playing this from outside leverage, so he's going to be out of position. He's taking him out of the play. Okay, this opens up the middle of the field right here in a closed coverage. That's crazy. Look at this. You see he's still outside leverage. You see he's just running down the seam. But look at this. Once again, let's check it out. So say we hitch up the throw, we don't do a bootleg. Okay, we know. Let's say he runs like this out route. Let's say he nods and then comes back to the middle of the field. Let's say, you know, he's still gonna go. That whole thing is open. Mike has the arm to get it there. Even if he's rolling left and he throws back to right, he can get it there, man. Like, Zach, if you've been watching film, you know we can do something like this. I just know it because, once again, just look. He goes with him. He's robbing that crosser, and he's playing this from outside leverage. That's a touchdown. Touchdown all day. Touchdown all day. I don't care. Like, Zach, if you were competent, you would do this. I swear. Please listen. I hope you were listening, because please do it. Now, once again, I do think we can absolutely win this game. Are we going to blow them out? No. Would I be surprised? Not really. And the only reason I say that is because if we can get our defense playing like a true number 1 defense in terms of yards given up, like, and that actually rears its very beautiful head. It's not an ugly head because we've never had a good defense. If that number 1 defense is like a number 1 defense, and our offense can put pressure on Josh Allen to keep up with us, we're going to blow them out. But I don't expect a blowout because Josh Allen is just arguably the best quarterback in the league, one of the MVP front runners. So I'm going to expect a close game. I would say the score probably going to be like, I don't know, 26-24 or something like that. Something close, but I do think it'll be somewhat high scoring. So I'm really confident in us beating these guys because they're so beatable. They're very vulnerable. This is the most vulnerable this Bills team has ever been. So we have to take advantage of that, and we have to beat these guys. Okay, let's do that. We're going to win. Let's keep the positive energy. Let's keep it rolling because after this, we got to play the 49ers. And I do not want to go into San Francisco, the first of the San Francisco, rather. We're going to be going, 2-3 and danger of being a 2-4. But that's besides the point. So if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more. Let's beat these guys, bro. Let's go.